Sheyi, a young boy, lives in a rundown shanty town. His father is a small-time drug dealer who maintains a fragile power in the community. He introduced the petty gang rivalry. There are occasional street brawls and skirmishes among the local gangs. Sheyi witnesses a violent altercation between small gangs. Sheyi's father is murdered by a rival gang, leaving a power vacuum. His mother insisted on providing Sheyi with an education despite the violent environment. Flashback shows that the father's smuggling routes involving shipment of drugs through Lagos bustling port, hinting at larger criminal operation beneath the surface. Sheyi meets his father's old friend, a mysterious figure who promised to help him find the people behind his father's murder. He learns about the underworld, its petty fights, and the rise of larger cartels. Sheyi is pushed to the brink of anger and revenge. Sheyi reluctantly gets involved with a local gang as he searches for the murderers. He witnessed his first petty gang fights, showing the cutthroat and brutal nature of the streets. A knife fight broke out between rival gang members in a dark alley. Sheyi's transition into the underworld continues. He begins smuggling drugs in small quantities, avoiding the attention of the police. He engages in petty gang fights, building his reputation and getting involved in underground street races where drugs are exchanged. Sheyi rises quickly through the ranks of the gang. As he earns the trust of higher-ups, he's given more responsibility and larger shipments to move. He faces a situation where he must choose between betraying his new allies or sticking to his values. He chose to eliminate a rival gang member. An older, more seasoned gang leader takes Sheyi under his wings, and Sheyi begins working on larger smuggling channels involving container shipment and corrupt dock workers. Corruption within the police force is hinted at, as Sheyi's mentor bribes officers to ensure the shipment goes undetected. Sheyi begins to question the truth behind his father's death. The friend who promised to help him reveals that his father was murdered due to a gang dispute, but Sheyi is determined to get revenge on the whole cartel. Sheyi becomes more deeply involved in the world of smuggling, dealing with bigger, more dangerous criminals. Police raids on rival gangs increase, complicating the situation. Sheyi takes a larger role in the gang, becoming a godfather figure himself. His dealing with the larger cartels exposes him to more corruption within law enforcement. A high-ranking officer in the police department is involved in the drug trade, tipping Sheyi off about potential raids. Sheyi learns that his father is not dead but was secretly saved by an undercover agent. His father, now a part of a special police force, is working to take down the very criminal underworld Sheyi is now a part of. The reveal sparks anger in Sheyi, who feels betrayed by his father's double life. He vows to destroy the gang from within. Sheyi's friend found out that his father is part of an undercover task force. His father's work involves infiltrating smuggling rings, leading to police raids on rival gangs. Meanwhile, Sheyi's gang grows more powerful and corrupt. Sheyi meets his father for the first time since his disappearance. The fathers reveal his true role in the task force, and the tension between father and son becomes palpable. And Sheyi, now a godfather in the underworld, cannot forgive his father for abandoning him. Sheyi's father reveals the task force's mission to take down the drug cartels. They attempt to convince Sheyi to cooperate. Sheyi's loyalty to the gang is tested as his father pleads for him to abandon the criminal world. Corruption within the police force complicates the investigation. Sheyi, torn between family loyalty and his ambition, agreed to help his father bring down the cartel. He secretly begins feeding information to his father's task force while continuing to manage his own criminal empire. Sheyi's former allies in the gang become suspicious. Father and son begin working together in the shadows. They manipulate rival gangs and crooked police officers to create chaos within the cartel. A violent raid happens on a gang operation, exposing the level of corruption and betrayal within their ranks. The cartel retaliates, targeting Sheyi and his family. A bloody gang war ensued, and the task force is forced to intervene. Police raids on rival gangs become more frequent, leading to chaos in the streets of Lagos. Sheyi must navigate these dangerous waters while trying to maintain control. A trusted ally of Sheyi betrayed him, working with the police to bring down the cartel from within. Sheyi is forced to eliminate the traitor, sending a brutal message to those who might consider betraying him. Sheyi faces a difficult decision as the underworld and law enforcement close in on him. He contemplates abandoning everything. The police increase their raids, and Sheyi's criminal empire starts to crumble under the pressure. Sheyi takes drastic action to maintain control, but he begins to lose power. A series of raids on his drug shipment disrupt his operation. His father's task force makes significant inroads, weakening the cartel's hold on the streets. The weight of Sheyi's action begins to haunt him. He contemplates his role in the violence that has torn apart his community. The father reflects on how Sheyi has turned into a man he doesn't recognize, filled with bitterness and rage. The final battle between the task force and Sheyi's gang takes place. Father and son lead opposing sides in a violent clash. The police raid their headquarters, and Sheyi must choose between his family and his gang. Sheyi uncovers new information about his father's involvement in the cartel's rise. The truth about his father's role in fueling the violence is revealed. Sheyi struggles with the moral consequences of his life choices as the weight of his father's betrayal hits him hard. Sheyi is faced with a life or death confrontation. His father is captured, but Sheyi fights to free him. Sheyi's loyalty to his father is tested when a police officer fumbling on his parole betrays him. The battle reaches its climax. Sheyi makes a life-altering decision to save his father from a final raid. The task force's efforts begin to pay off, but Sheyi sacrifices his own life in the process. The cartel is finally brought down, but the cost is immense. Sheyi's death changed the dynamic of the entire operation. His mother and father are left to pick up the pieces, mourning the loss of their son. Sheyi, in his final moment, seeks redemption for his crimes. His father watches helplessly as his son passes away. The task force carries on, determined to ensure that Sheyi's death will not be in vain. The father mourns Sheyi's loss, reflecting on the choices that led to tragic end. The mother is left to raise the family, devastated by the weight of her son's choice. Lagos begins to heal after the destruction of the cartel. The police force, now more focused on eradicating corruption, works to rebuild the community. Shei's legacy remains a warning of the dangers of the street. The father takes a new role, now fully committed to fighting the drug war. He continues his mission to protect those who live in the shadows, hoping to prevent future tragedies. The series ends with Shei's memorial. His family, friends, and the community come together to say goodbye to the boy who lost his life in the battle between good and evil. The father reflects on the boy his son could have become and vows to honor his memory by continuing the fight against the drugs that took his life. This is the story of a boy born into chaos, raised by the streets, and consumed by the fire of revenge. Sheyi's rise was legendary, but it came with blood-stained hands, broken trust, and a soul torn in half. His journey reminds us that no matter how noble your intentions are, the path you choose will shape the person you become. In a world where betrayal is currency and loyalty is fleeting, Sheyi's downfall teaches us one thing: you cannot fight darkness by becoming it. True strength isn't in ruling the street or conquering empires. It's in breaking the circle, choosing a different road, even when the road is lonely, uncertain, and painful. For every young person standing at a crossroad torn between survival and self-destruction, Shei's story is a haunting whisper. You can become more than your past, but you must decide before it becomes too late. The street don't forgive, but redemption, if you are brave enough to seek it, just might.